The South Korean government has said victims of Japan's wartime forced labor still waiting for court decisions can also be compensated through a public foundation. This comes after the government last week revealed controversial plans to compensate the victims through a domestic fund. Bae Eun-ji has more.
Last week, the South Korean government revealed plans to compensate Korean victims of Japan's wartime forced labor through a public foundation, instead of the assets of the accused Japanese firms. In a briefing to Parliament on Tuesday, South Korea's foreign ministry said this way of compensation can also be applied to pending cases filed by the victims, in addition to the 3 finalized court rulings.
We believe a similar approach is possible for pending cases if the court rules in favor of the plaintiff.
But the victims and the civic groups supporting them have been protesting against the government's plan, saying this issue cannot be resolved without sincere apologies and participation from the Japanese companies. Of the total number of lawsuits filed over wartime forced labor, only 3 have been finalized in court, and 67 cases are still pending. In 2018, the Supreme Court made landmark rulings ordering 2 Japanese companies, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and Nippon Steel, to compensate the Korean victims of forced labor during Japanese colonial rule. Earlier in the day, to boost bilateral ties, South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol acknowledged that relations between Seoul and Tokyo have recently shown clear improvements after years of tension. These remarks were made on behalf of the president by the first vice foreign minister at the 56th joint meeting of the Korea-Japan and Japan-Korea Cooperation Committees held in Seoul. Yoon's message mentioned that South Korea and Japan are the closest and most important neighbors, and that they require cooperation in all fields, including security and the economy. In a message delivered by Japan's ambassador to South Korea on Tuesday, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida also pledged to work toward improving bilateral relations by promptly resolving pending issues. Bae Eun-ji, Arirang News.